Hi, I'm Christopher John Farley, a senior editor at the Wall Street Journal. My guest today is James McAvoy, who's one of the stars of X-Men Apocalypse. James, thanks for coming to the Wall Street Journal. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, in the first X-Men, you were newer, you were a younger version of Professor X, the character you play.
Yeah.
In the second one, you became sort of a junkie and kind of got hooked on some mutant kind of chemical.
Yep.
And now in the third one, where are you taking this character you play, Professor X?
I suppose I'm bringing him home to inhabit the icon that has always really been Professor X, this sort of patriarchal, tomato, sort of monkish archetype, you know, this icon of X-Men who happens to have a bald head. And I've spent the previous two movies subverting that icon and doing nothing like it, trying to do something as far away from it as possible. So this time round, it's about owning that and really bringing our three-movie story home to where we always suggested it would go. So for him, you really find him as a teacher. That's all he is, really, at this moment. He's a very balanced, happy person, and he wants to take children who are struggling with their own ability to accept themselves and fit in with society and help turn them into people who are functioning members of society and fulfilled people. But by the end of the movie, he becomes that social worker, caseworker, teacher who believes in that children are the future, but he's also got a paramilitary organisation in his basement, and he's willing to kill people, you know? So it's kind of, it's for him, the film does that to him, you know?
Of course, people know you from dramatic movies like The Last King of Scotland, like Atonement, and you also have balanced that out by doing movies that are more adventurous and like Wanted, and of course the X-Men series. Does your approach differ depending on the material? I mean, do you inhabit the character in a different way depending on the kind of movie it is?
Yeah, I guess I do. But my approach isn't different in that every single movie demands, for me, I think every single movie demands a different type of performance, and therefore every single movie demands a different type of actor. I like to think that I'm fairly versatile, and I enjoy exploring that versatility and pushing the limits of that versatility in terms of, do I think I can do this? I might not be able to, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. You know, if I'm in X-Men, it's one kind of performance, it's one kind of character, it's one kind of level of connection with the other members of the cast, but also the audience. But if I'm doing something crazy, like a film I did called Filth, which was so heightened and surreal rather than real, just to spell that out, what surreal means. There you go. For the hard of thinking, sorry about that. Then it demands a different kind of performance, therefore a different kind of actor, really, a different vernacular of communication and of physical communication as well. So, you do, not to kind of harp on about it too much, but you become the actor that the part requires.
Well, one of my favorite scenes in any of the X-Men movies was in X-Men First Class, where you have a scene with Michael Fassbender, who's playing Magneto, and you're trying to bring his powers out of him. And there's a moment where he accesses one of his deepest memories, and your character helps him do that with your telekinesis, and then he moves something far away using his magnetic powers. But it sort of brings together both the sort of comic book nature of the story and also something that's sort of very deep emotionally too, where you sort of shed a tear as you sort of access his memories. Is there a scene that's like that in the new film that you feel sort of brings it all together, brings together some of the drama and also some of the action as well?
I think X-Men's always been about family. Not a team of superheroes, but a family of superheroes. And what I love about this film is that we actively tell that story. The characters are conscious of the fact that they're becoming aware that they are a family. And so his family are being killed, and they're in great peril, and he feels their pain hugely, because I think the defining aspect about Charles Xavier is not his superheroic ability, it is his super humane attribute, which is empathy. And so when his family are dying, when his family are in peril, that hurts him physically and compels him to act when he thought he was defeated. So for me, I think friendship and empathy, where the defining aspects of First Class, and I think family and empathy are, for Charles anyway, the defining aspects of this film.
It's a great, thoughtful answer, so I'm going to take it down a notch, 2 notches, and ask you a question.
Something a bit more base.
Yeah. So do you think the X-Men could take the Avengers?
You kidding me? Yeah, totally. There's
really?
like 8 of them, and there's 100,000 of us. You know what I mean? There are so many mutants. Have you seen the team size of the X-Men roster? Not just in our movie, but I mean like the potential size of the X-Men squad is so vast. And I'd just be like, yo, Robert Downey, sit down and make me a cup of tea. You know, so, yeah, you know. Come on, mate. I know you're a really good actor, but stop acting in my face. I've got a bald head. I'm like Kojak with mind-bending abilities. So, yeah, I think we could definitely take the Avengers, totally. Because we're a family and they're just a team.
Now, I keep hearing that you and your co-stars, Michael Fassbender and Jennifer Lawrence, have some sort of pact where if one person decides to do more X-Men films, the other 2 will also do it. Is that true?
I think it's Nick as well. It's Jen, Nick, Michael, and myself. Listen, I've not heard about this until yesterday myself, and apparently Jennifer stated that, and she's the boss, man. So she's kind of the boss of Hollywood at the moment. So she's definitely the boss of me. So yeah, I'd probably go along with that.
Do you see any other spin-offs happening from X-Men? I mean, Deadpool was a kind of an X-Men spin-off, and we've seen X-Men pop up in other movies.
I would quite like to rock up in a Deadpool spin-off because it's R-rated, so you can get Charles saying naughty words, and because Charles, my version of Charles I've always thought is a little bit kinky, so I'd quite like to explore that.
So could that happen? Have you had any serious talks about maybe
Not serious talks, but that could definitely happen. Yeah.
So you and Deadpool, that'd be great.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it would definitely be that, but there's another one called The New Mutants, which I can confirm only because Simon Kinberg, who is the master of all movies ever made in the world at the moment, and our great producer and writer and collaborator on X-Men, he confirmed on TV yesterday that I am currently in The New Mutants, or Professor Charles Xavier is. I don't know if that would mean me, but I think it is me. I think it's me, yeah. Deadpool said it very well. You know, McAvoy or Stewart, the timelines are so confusing. But I think it is my one that would be in The New Mutants. So there's a possibility of that. And then moving forward, there's also our own iteration of the X-Men universe, which is moving forward.
Well, with that, James McAvoy,
Thank you.
Film is X-Men Apocalypse. Yep. Thanks a lot for coming to the Wall Street Journal. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, man.